Good morning and welcome to the 15 minutes Discourses. It's only 15 minutes in quantity, but we hope it fills a greater quality of the whole day. We're learning the Maamarim Vata Tetzava Tavshin Mem Aleph, and we're at the last Ois Yud Beis on page Mem Beis. The last piece of the Maamarim has been explaining that the avodah of the Hispashtus of the Moshe in every generation, it brings out the etzem of the neshama v'yid, and that leads to the Mesiras Nefesh in the face of difficulties, of persecution. The avodah of the yid, represented by the words v'yikru elecha shem zayzach, the avodah of the yid is to integrate that so much that just living in Golus without persecution, where there's abundance of freedom, physically and spiritually, to serve Hashem, that it bothers the yid that Mashiach isn't here. It bothers the yid he's in Golus. Bothers the yid that godliness is not shining through in the whole world. And that's the yid's avodah. So we go from one level of revelation within of the essence of the neshama to the ultimate essence of the neshama as it is part of Hashem himself, the essence of Hashem, and then you can have not only the neshama shining through in its purity of the Mesiras Nefesh, but even deeper, that the very attitude and psychological makeup, the intellect and the feelings of a yid is in tune with that as well. That it bothers him that there's not Mashiach hasn't come, that the Gilui Kus is not yet in the whole world. So that's the avodah of the yid. Now, the Rebbe is going to add here a very special piece, and that is that even this koyach also comes from the Moshe Rabbeinu. That till now we've said, what does Moshe accomplish bringing out the etzem of the neshama? But it has its own certain category. It's its own certain category of this is the etzem, Mesiras Nefesh. What about the personality of the yid, his koychos pnimim? That the yid has to work with himself. Where do you get the koyach to do that? So this is also through the Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation. And this is what and that's the pshat also in the pasuk. The pasuk says Moshe it says you should command the yidden to bring the olive oil. In other words, the Moshe does helps with the whole. He brings out the etz of neshama and gives the koyach that you can do the work himself. That he can't do for the yid. He can just give him the koyach that he can. Let's see it inside Ois Yud Beis. V'hinei hapirish b'pashtus. The simple meaning of the pasuk. V'ata tetzavis b'nei Yisrael v'ikyu alecha v'geimer, that you should command the yid that they should bring to you the olive oil. Who shemoshe yetzavis b'nei Yisrael sheyikru alecha, that Moshe should command the yid they should bring the oil to him. As we've explained, what's v'yikru alecha, the avodah of the yid, to work with the revelation, the gili of the etzem and the neshama. So we can explain this on the pnimis inyanim, as we've explained this whole pasuk with the pnimis of Torah, the neshama of this pasuk. This that Moshe commands and joins the yidden to Hashem. This is also that he brings to them the ability to do the work of V'yikru Elecha, to work with themselves as well. So it all flows through the Rosh B'nai Yisrael, through the Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rebbe concludes that this is also true with the Moshe Rabbeinu, the Moshe of our generation, his Special of the Moshe, the Friedrich Rebbe, the Nasi Derenu, who's the Nasi of our generation, Shavedasi La'ir Legalis Es Emunah Shebachol Echad MiYisrael Shemetza Etzem Neshama, that his avodah was to arouse and to bring out the belief in every yid that comes from the etzem of the neshama. not only the emunah that we have because the neshama above sees, but to help bring out the emunah, the belief and connection and trust we have in Hashem from the etzem and neshama. This is their avodah. This is the Nasi, the reign of the Frierdiker Rebbe does. He be'ofen is dead in such a way shekachach yavdu avidosim b'kirch hasman, that after they're able to do their avodah themselves and to work with themselves, he brings out the neshama in a way that gives you also the kirch to be able to work with it. Ashi ner tamid should be a constant flame. She'ein shaykh b'shinei kamatz kirchos igilim. There should be no change also in relation to the kirchos igilim, the way the person functions as is in his individuality. So there's a unique aspect of this, that you could have an inspiration that comes in a way that just that stays as an inspiration and doesn't affect the person, or you could have a tzaddik that does that. There are different modalities in serving Hashem. You can have comes Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, for example, and in that time, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, many Yidden are aroused to get closer to Hashem. What happens afterwards? There's not much of a change, possibly. Why? Because the arousal came from outside. It came from above. Here we're talking about, it's an internal effect. However, if the cause is external because of the persecution, like Purim before under Haman's Gzeira, or under communist rule, or other such circumstances, so you need to have the koyach. Where do you get it from? The Nasi Hadoyer helps you bring out that Esem and Neshama. Now, and you've got to function on that level. We're now in a different stage, like after the Nes of Purim, and like after the persecutional times of the communists. We're living with an abundance of freedom to serve Hashem in all areas. So then, the Nasi helps bring out your koyach of the Etzem Neshama, but not that it's just his work, and not that it's just a higher revelation, that an inspiration. He gives also that you can work with it, that it can that you can own it, it can become yours, that it becomes yours, that it's integrated, and your mind begins thinking in the same way as that energy of the Nevesh Helikis shining through with its essential being of an attachment to Hashem. It's not just a general thing, a general energy of wanting to serve Hashem, or having some extra taking on an extra mitzvah, fulfilling all the religious obligations that we have. It's a much deeper and more impactful effect that the Nazis works to bring out the essence of the neshama, but in what way that you can begin to own it and it becomes yours. If you wouldn't have the Nasi doing it, we'd be stuck just with the Nevesh Abamas. And there'd be times throughout the year when we would be around, when we would have this, it's a Rus Lasat, we'd be aroused to serve Hashem, Rosh Hashanah, Pesach, Sukkot, all special times. So there could be events in somebody's life that would happen that would bring it out. However, there's an avodah that the Nasi does. The Moshe Rabbeinu of every generation has a service to Hashem that's not just his own personal avodah, that he learns Torah and does mitzvahs and davens himself, and it's just for him and his connection to Hashem. The Nazis, the same as Moshe Rabbeinu's inyan was to bring the Torah down to the Yidden. His job was to connect Hashem to the Yidden. In what way? In a way that the Yidden are able to work with it and it make it part of them, so that then the whole world can become a dir lo yisbar b'tachtonim. It's not with an overlay. By coming out of Mitzrayim, the overlay was Mitzrayim was destroyed. By Kriyas Yamsuf, there was godliness was revealed in a way that the Mitzrayim drowned, and that was, and even the Shivcha, as maidservant saw it, at the Kriyas Yamsuf what the greatest Navi wouldn't see. Tremendous revelations. By Matan Torah, Hashem came in and revealed himself to everybody, and Yid said Nasav initially because there was a revelation from above of the greatness of Hashem. Here, it's so in some ways the Tachtonim, the person who they are on their level within themselves, was left out to an extent. Here, in this Avodah, where it changes the whole playing field, that the Yid is given the koyach, the Nasi works to bring out his etzem of who are you? I'm a Yid. How much of you am a Yid? I'm a Yid totally. How much totally? What does that mean? No part of my life is not in tune with the wanting to be one and united with Hashem. Not only me, everything. So to make another person understand or feel something, no one can do. You can only give the opportunity for someone else to like it. You can't get kids to like somebody else. You can't get people to like, but you can give them the koyach that they should be able to work with themselves and integrate it. So this is what the Moshe Rabbeinu does. The Rebbe, this is the Avodah of the Friedrich Rebbe, is what he's doing in our generation, helping bring out the etzem of the neshama, together with it the ability you can integrate it within yourself, so it becomes yours and you own it. And then that's the dir b'tachtonim. In Tachtonim, in this lower world, what's the Yid doing? He's walking around in the world saying, "Hey Hashem, why aren't you here?" He is learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, and he could be doing that with full force. However, if his approach is, that's good enough, without saying, "Hashem, you're not revealed in the whole world. Where are you?" The truth of the whole existence is Hashem, Havai Hu Elikim. That's the truth of the existence. And the whole purpose of creation is that this should shine through with the Dir Lo Yisbar B'Tachtonim. Hashem should be a dwelling place here. So, to be able to integrate that, and that's who I am completely, that koyach is also given by the Nasi Hadir. And so you get a full expression. It's not just standing from the outside, but helping the person reach in and become and have this fullness and this joy, this purposefulness in living in every aspect of who they are. The last paragraph. Through this avodah that we do, is zeichel bekarev mamish legula mitzvah shlema, will be zeichel to the complete and true geula. Then godliness will be revealed in the world also because of the work that we've done here, not just because there's been a gili mulmaila, there's been a revelation of godliness from above, but we will have learned Torah, we have done mitzvahs, we will have changed the physical world around us, we will have worked with our nevesh abamis, we've worked with our personalities in a way that is integrated into us godliness. And then we'll actually bring the oil and be lighting the candles. As it says in the Pasuk. The Pasuk we started with the purpose of bringing the oil was to light the menorah. Also, this we explained it in our Maamarim as it is in Ruchnis. Also, Gam Begashmis. But Beis Hamikdash Shlishi, it'll come in Gashmis in the third Beis Hamikdash. But Gula Mitzvah Shleim Alidei Mashiach Tzidkeinu B'Korev Mamish, the true and complete the Gula of the Mashiach, and then it will be Talmud. Then godliness will shine into the world constantly. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed this Maamar. It's been quite long as we've gone through all the different parts of it, and we'll start another Maamar Mitzvah Shem next time.